In this video, I'll walk you through the steps needed to set up search campaigns on Google. I'll tell you what to do, what not to do, and the most common errors that people make that ends up costing them thousands. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So search campaigns in Google are also called sponsored text ads. So what you're going to see here is a typical search campaign run by Solomon. So you'll see that it's sponsored and you'll see that it is a search campaign or a text campaign given how it is configured. So you'll see here, this is a headline, this is another headline over here, and then we'll have additional elements of the search campaign. So things like call outs here. And here is another one from On. So these are running shoes. And again, we have a headline here, second headline here, and then some additional information. You'll see these links down here. These are site links, which will direct you to individual pages. Once again, you'll know that this is a search campaign, or you'll know that this is an ad full stop because it will say sponsored. But we know this to be a search campaign given the configuration, very, very text heavy, and comes up on the search engine results page. So if we want to set up our search campaigns, of course, we are going to go to ads.google.com. In our dashboard under campaigns, we're going to see this button here, and this button will allow us to go and create a new campaign. From there, we're going to be met with some basic questions around setup. So the first question will be asked is, what is our campaign objective? Now, if you're a D2C e-commerce store, this is going to be sales. You might be a B2B business, in which case it might be leads, but for now on this video, we're going to be focusing on D2C and talking about sales focused search campaigns. The next part of the setup is the first area where we can really slip up and have quite disastrous consequences for our search campaign. And Google is asking us, what are our conversion goals to improve sales? So here we will see that our conversion goal is purchases, and we have one action here. Now, where I see this fall down is instead of just having purchases, there might be something like page views, add to carts. There could be multiple conversion goals, meaning that Google is optimizing for all different sorts of outcomes that aren't purchases. Now, once again, if you're an e-commerce business, you want to be optimizing for purchases, and in 99% of cases, that will be the only conversion goal that we use for our search campaigns. Next up, we're going to be asked to select a campaign type, and this is going to, of course, be search. Drive sales on Google search with text ads. From here, we'll be asked to input our website, so just drop in your URL because we are selecting website visits as opposed to phone calls or shop visits if you're a brick and mortar store. We are selecting website visits in order to help us reach our goals, which, as we said already, is purchases. So we'll click continue and we will name our campaign. So in this instance, it's going to be a search campaign. So you'll see search here. I'll signify that it is in the USA that we're targeting, and we will just call this a non-branded search campaign, meaning we are targeting keywords that are not branded keywords. So from there, we'll just click continue and we will move on to the next phase. From here, we'll progress through to bidding. Now, I will be creating a full video outlining what bid strategies to choose, when to move from one bid strategy to another, when should you use manual strategies versus more automated bidding strategies. But for now, we'll just keep this very high level and show you how you select a bid strategy when you're setting up your search campaign. You'll be asked here about bidding. What do you want to focus on? You can focus on things like clicks or conversions or conversion value. Now, if once again you're an e-commerce business, you're very focused on the value of your conversions. This might differ if you are a business that sells one SKU, so all your purchases are the same value, or your subscription business. But for the most part, you are looking to focus on higher value conversions. So you want Google to optimize for conversions that are of higher value than others. So you want to be tracking conversion value. For now, we won't set a target return on ad spend. We'll leave it as it is. And it's very important to know that you can change this bid strategy after you set up your search campaign. For now, let's stick with conversion value. We won't make any changes to this customer acquisition setting about adjusting our bidding to help acquire new customers. We'll leave it at the default setting of all for now, and then we'll click next to go on to the next part. And the next part is all about campaign settings. Once again, this is a really common error I see people make, and that error is selecting either Google Search Partners or Google Display Network when you are setting up your search campaigns. You want to turn these off. Google Search Partners, I've yet to see performance exceed that of Google Search, and generally it is just an opportunity for Google to spend more and not produce the desired results. So turn off Search Partners is my recommendation always. Next up is location. So very straightforward, deciding where we want our ads to serve or where we want to advertise. So it sounds very simple, but it's very easy to get this slightly wrong. So again, look, I'm going to say that we are an e-commerce store based in the US. So we'll choose United States as our country. We may look to exclude certain states. If so, we just search for those states here and click on exclude. But for now, we're just going to choose the whole of the US to target, and we're going to see advanced settings down here. And this advanced settings here is where people fall short quite often. So by default, we're going to be presence or interest. And what this means is that people don't actually have to be in your desired location in order to be targeted with an ad. So in this instance, what does that mean? So we're targeting the United States. So you would think that people have to be based in the United States in order to be served an ad by us. But under this setting of presence or interest, the who've shown interest in your included locations is the key element to pay attention to here. Because if it's election season in the US and the whole world is watching the direction of the United States general election, well then a lot of the world outside of the US could be categorized as showing an interest in our included location. And if we don't ship to the UK or Europe or Canada, yet we're serving ads to people in these locations, well then evidently we're going to be losing money. So always, always, always choose presence only, people in or regularly in your included locations. Languages is next, so unless you want to serve maybe in Spanish as well, just set the default to your target location. So we're moving on to audience segments. So you can either target people directly or you can just have audience segments in the background so you can observe performance within individual segments. You don't have to choose any audience segments, you can leave it blank, and in that instance that's what we're going to do now. And beyond that then, everything here I have set up at default settings. I'm going to move on, click next, and it's going to bring us on to the next part of our setup, which is going to ask us if we want to use AI Max to set up our search campaign. So AI Max is Google's newest rollout of AI within their ad platform. Essentially what it does is it uses AI to make ads for us. I will be creating a video specifically about AI Max, but the vast majority of people are going to want to retain control when they are setting up their search campaign. So in this instance, I'm going to just skip over and you can check out the video on AI Max if you want a full rundown on its potential. So we're going to skip over that and we are going to go instead to keywords. So we have two options here. We can either give Google our URL and Google will come up with some keyword suggestions for us, or we can enter the keywords manually ourselves. And once again, if you've done good keyword research, you're much more likely to be inclined to manually input keywords. Now, when you're entering your keywords, I will create a full video about this, but you have to be conscious of the match type that you're using, and that's determined then by the punctuation symbols that you use around your keywords. So in this instance here, this is a broad match keyword. There's no punctuation with quotation marks here on number 1 and keyword number 2. That indicates phrase match keywords. And then we have our brackets on number 4, which indicates exact match keywords. We choose our keywords, and next up, it is going to involve our ad creation. So with our ad creation, Google is going to make some recommendations for us, because it wants to help us create an ad it deems strong. So it's going to encourage us to add headlines, include popular keywords. Also, it's going to encourage us to make both our headlines and our descriptions unique, because the more unique each individual asset is, the more opportunity Google has to test a large variance in messaging to see what's working across different audiences. So Google is saying start with at least 5 headlines. So the first thing that we're going to input is our final URL, and this is where traffic is going to be directed to after they click on our search ad. So this is our landing page. So for now, I'll just keep it at the main homepage here at Nike.com, but you can send this to a collection page, a product page, a particular listicle page that you have, or you can send it just straight to the homepage if you wish. Display path is next. So basically what that means is, do we want to show something after our URL? So in some instances, it'll be shop, it will be men's footwear, it will be running shoes. So the website or the link will look like www.nike.com/running shoes. And again, this is a really clever way of showing people that they're being brought to a particular page that's going to interest them. So it is something we definitely recommend using. Headlines are next. So you have up to 15 headlines you can use in search campaigns. You should really look to include keywords when possible, have a lot of variety between headlines, and make sure that you're not just filling each headline for the sake of it, that each headline is unique, it adds value, and you have a mix of features, benefits, offers, urgency, call to actions, everything you need for Google to test different combinations and find a winning combination. Headlines are what you're going to use to grab attention of users. They're going to be the biggest, the brightest pieces of text on screen, so they're really important. Next up are descriptions. Descriptions allow us to provide more information and elaborate on what our headlines are saying. So we have up to 90 characters for each description. We generally write these in sentence case, whereas headlines we typically write in title case. And again, you need at least 2, but up to 4 descriptions, because you can serve 2 descriptions at any given time. You can add images, so images would appear alongside the side of your text campaign, so it'll look something like this. But with images, you have to be conscious that you can't have any any text, there can't be any overlay in the images, so a really clear product-centric image or a lifestyle image is usually something that's quite beneficial to add. Then you need to include your business name for advertiser transparency reasons, and then business logo is next so that your favicon will come up as your business logo. So site links are next. So site links allow us to add different links under our search campaign to redirect users into other places than our primary landing page. So for example, if you are Nike and someone's searching for Nike, you might want to redirect them to men's clothing, men's footwear, women's clothing, women's footwear, kids clothing, kids footwear, all these different locations. So site links allow you to do that. So whereas your ad campaign itself, when they click on your headline, it might take them to the homepage, site links allow you to take them into a different direction based on what they're interested in. And if I go back to the example that I used at the start of the video, you will see this search campaign by On Running, and this is our headline, this is a description up here, and these guys, as I've underlined, are our site links. So site links allow us to direct traffic into different places other than our primary landing page for the ad. And you can see why this is really useful, because it's an opportunity to give more information. So they have free delivery. Here's a site link and 30 days returns. And then we also have callouts. So these are 25 character snippets of text that allow us to provide more key information about our business. So it might be free shipping over X dollars, fast free shipping. It could be a good opportunity to outline number of happy customers, 25,000 plus happy customers, 5-star reviews, things like that. So key features about the business are very useful to add here under callouts. We do have some other asset types, things like structured snippets, phone numbers, address, but for now I'll focus on the most common, and they are callouts, site links, and images. So once we've added everything we need, we're going to click next. Our actual ad itself is ready to go. And then one of the last things we're going to have to do is to select our budget. So this is going to be an average daily budget. So the amount we want to spend each day. So don't get caught out with this. This isn't a total budget whereby once we hit this, it'll stop after X days. This is the average that we can spend per day, or the average that Google can spend per day. So here you say $73. It comes up with a recommendation of 87, 58, or you can set a custom budget. Google will forecast how many conversions, what conversion value, ROAS, cost per conversion it thinks you'll be able to get within these budget limits. We find that these can be vastly inaccurate, so I would not rely on them when you're first starting out. You should be very comfortable allowing Google to spend your daily budget and learn as it does. Don't always expect results overnight, so only start with a budget that you're comfortable losing. Once you're happy, you can click next, and always know that you can change your budget at any time. So if you see results improving and you want to continue scaling up this campaign, just the click of a button and you can double or triple your budget overnight if you want. I'd recommend doing it slightly more conservatively, but if you start with $50 a day and you want to move to 60 to 70 to 100, then you can do that. So like any of these settings really starting out, they are not settings that you cannot change at any point during your campaign's lifetime. And now you're ready to go. So your campaign is ready to publish. So you will just click the publish button in Google Ads and your campaign will be live. Bearing in mind that it can take a little bit of time for those first clicks to come through and for the campaign to begin serving. But once they do, you'll begin to see the clicks, the impressions, everything like that, and you'll be able to see the kind of results that your campaigns are showing. So now you are ready to go. So your campaign is ready to be published. So once you click publish, it's live. It can begin spending. Don't worry, sometimes the initial clicks are very, very expensive. It's sort of a case of Google getting to know what's working and what's not. So with that, expect a lot of volatility. Sometimes as well, it can take a little bit of time for these campaigns to actually start serving, sometimes anything up to a day. If that is the case, just be patient. But if it does extend beyond a day or two, you need to take a bit of a look under the hood. Is your bidding set up correctly? Are your keywords getting enough search volume through them? Have you chosen keywords that maybe people aren't searching for? So there's a whole host of reasons why your search campaigns might not be running. Don't panic just yet. Give it a little bit of time. Let Google begin serving your ads and check again after a couple of hours. So in the next few videos, I'm going to run through everything from keyword selection, keyword research, writing ad copy, dynamic search campaigns, how to test non-brand search campaigns, branded search campaigns, AI Max, and everything in between. So stick around, subscribe to the channel, and you'll see all those videos in due course. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one.